So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut here and cut here. A couple of primes. Let's go. Prime rail time.
Two Taswegians here today.
This isn't my car, but it's sitting outside my house because of course it is. Just like this one. I wonder who that belongs to. But this is a KE70 Corolla, 1983. And our friend Zachy bought it. It's in a bit of a state. He traded a set of wheels for it. So we're gonna see how well it runs. Got it yesterday, last night. The choke in, a couple of primes. Let it warm up first. It belonged to an old lady that crashed it into a ditch, and then it sat for 9 years. The last time it was registered was 2011, I think. It's actually not too bad. It doesn't have too much rust. Everything works apart from the brakes. So Zach has instructed us to just make it run right, because at the moment it's running on maybe 2.5, 3 cylinders, and it should be running on all 4. So what we're gonna do, because it's got a mechanical fuel pump, we're gonna bypass the fuel system. We're gonna take the feed line off the fuel filter and the return line as well, right here, that goes back to the fuel tank. I'm gonna chuck a jerry in, see if that makes it run right. The Dizzy didn't look like it was in the best condition. The points looked a bit corroded. We shall see. The jerry didn't fit, so we just got a Costco water bottle. I don't even know how old that fuel is. It was for the lawnmower. All right, tell me if there's a fire, all right?
Oh shit! That fucking K-bag is weird.
So we know this is a bit ticky, this motor, this 4K, but why is it ticky? Luca and I know. Have a look. See if you can notice it. Looks good there. Looks good.
What's that doing there? What's that doing there?
Oh, you found it.
I don't think that's...
I think that the push rod's supposed to be on the rocker.
Do you reckon that's the cause of our misfire?
I mean, maybe. So now that we're done with Zach's car, it's been approximately 72 hours and we're back on the EF. This is going to be the most intimidating part of the whole subframe swap. It's time to cut windows in the frame rail. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut here, just where this brake line bracket goes, and cut here. And we'll sort of stop at the seam here as well. And then hopefully that should give us access to, hopefully we don't f it up. Oh, it's like a door. A roll. This is a perfect demonstration of what I was talking about. So this is the stud for this. And it's just gone inside there. So it's perfectly located itself. So now we need to get this crush tube out of the way and put the AU ones in.
Not bad.
Simples. The next step, we took the subframe out because now it's time to grind the tack welds off the original crush tube.
Put the subframe in, knock it up, and then drill, and then weld in the crush tubes.
Yep. All right, so what Ollie has done here is he's ground down the weld on the crush tube there. You can see there's one there and there's also one up there. And then all you gotta do is hammer it and then it should look something like this. Hoppa.
Bye-bye.
There's another cross tube. So that's what it looks like inside. That's what you should have. Window open. Now we're probably up to the most intimidating part, and that is drilling the holes for the subframe. So as you can see here, we got this beautiful window. We got the subframe mocked up again. Got the locator holes in, so that's what it looks like from the inside. We got a 13mm drill bit. That's the size that I was recommended by one of my subscribers. And then we're gonna drill the bottom hole. Last night I had a special delivery from my good friend Peter. He has supplied me with brand new lower control arms, ball joints, upper control arms, tie rod ends, inner tie rod ends, everything. So this E-Series is going to get a bunch of new and improved parts when the subframe ends up going in. So very exciting there. Peter supplied me with road safe parts. They're excellent quality. I mean, they're better than factory. So apparently these arms here, these are upper control arms. They are redesigned compared to factory specs. So the rubber bushes here don't flog out as quick. The ball joints and stuff there. Oof, look at these. Brand new lower control arms as well. This is where we're at the moment with the subframe. So both the holes for this part of the subframe are drilled. Ollie and I, off camera last night, we drilled another hole here, but it's completely on the piss. Like, it's not even close. So that's the hard part. That's the hard part of this swap. So because obviously the frame rail is hollow, there's no way of making sure the drill bit isn't going to start walking and you're drilling completely true. So that's going to be the hard part. There's a lot of measuring involved. Let me show you what I'm actually having to cut. The AU and the E-Series subframes, they could not be any more different to each other. This is the E-Series subframe. It has brackets that bolt up and they look like this. And they bolt on to the side of the frame rail, and then these bolt in. What I'm having to do is these things here, these tubes, they have to get pissed off because this hole is going to foul when we're having to drill the top one. Time off camera cleaning everything up. What I've done here, I don't know if you can see, but I used the MIG welder to cover up the old holes that Ollie and I drilled last night because they're completely wrong. But now I've given myself the task of taking the battery tray out. The battery will be going to the back of the car, so we don't even need this anyway. And to get to the stud and drill all the holes like on this side where there's nothing, this has to go regardless. Now I'm going to use my friend Gary. Gary's going to help me cut the battery tray out, and then we'll have access to the frame rail and we can begin drilling. One battery tray. All right, bit of a progress update. Ollie and I have drilled all the holes for the rear section of the subframe. We put in the studs, tightened up the rear. Here is what it looks like. I'm so excited, but I'm also very nervous because now we're going to see if the control arms bolt up. We're going to see if the struts bolt in properly and they're all aligned. So we're about to find out, and I'm very nervous. But here's what it looks like. Look at that. And there's no jack holding it in. So we got some studs from a local bolt shop. We got some nuts as well. We got one nut holding it on there for the moment, but all the holes are drilled. It's pretty surreal. I mean, from when I first bought this car, I did not expect to be doing this at all. We are making some excellent progress. I'm very, very happy with how it's going. The rear subframe is completely in. All the holes are drilled. All we got to do now is put the cross tubes in and tack the nuts inside the frame rails. What we're going to do now, as you saw in the previous clip, we just drilled out holes for the alignment studs in the front. If you guys are wondering, from the rear studs to the front studs, it's 307 mil. And then from the edge of the frame rail, so from the outside of the frame rail, right here to where we drill the hole is 33.5 millimeters. So if you guys are going to do this at home, all right, check this out, guys. I'm so happy. Those holes we drilled for the front lined up perfectly. We just had to ream this one out a little bit because it was a little bit off, but that's all right. It's all in. I actually can't believe there's an AU subframe sitting in my EF. That's it for today's episode on destroying an EF. On the next episode, I will be finishing up the subframe. The car will be rolling at that point, and we're going to be putting in all this delicious stuff that was supplied by Peter. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.